Welcome to Canada and the inaugural Montreal Grand Prix. This was an ideal location for Judo Canada to springboard its leap onto the World Judo Tour. And they did not disappoint, filling the Maurice Richard Arena with fans and creating a real buzz both inside and out as the nation's judo enthusiasts came to see their judoka square off against the best in the world, and in some cases, each other. The event was a triumph, sowing the seeds for a bright future indeed. Amongst the international superstars in action was young Israeli talent Gefen Primo, who will feature for our latest Meet Your Judoka spot. We'll bring you bundles of top-notch action from this 3-day event. And we'll witness the return of the king, judo's most decorated athlete, Riner of France, who took on some of the best in the world in a comeback after almost 2 years away from the tatami. How would he get on in Montreal? We start with the men's under 60 kg division, where Japan's world champion Takato Naohisa was in action. He will be looking to take a 4th world title later this year in Tokyo, and if he performs like he did here in Montreal, then he should have no problem. He was on fire. This ippon against Brazil's Eric Takabataki, seeing him into the gold medal contest. There, he would face the world number 1, Robert Mushvidabadze, in a rematch of last year's World Championship final. The Russian has established himself as one of the best of the rest in the division, and with a win at the World Masters in Guangzhou to his name, he would have high hopes of exacting revenge. Your commentator is former world champion Neil Adams.
Mushvidabadze has to do something. He knows it. Takato ahead on attacks. Left against right here. Now, what's going to happen? A repeat of the world final! Oh, it's all over! That was absolute brilliance from Takato, Uchimata Sakeishi, and Takato was just waiting for that opportunity there. Mushvidabadze, he just went for the first technique, but it was a great counter from the world champion. Look how he goes onto the inside of the leg there, but it was all about the change of hips and the change of direction, and Takato is clearly the number 1.
IJF President Mr. Marius Visser was in attendance to award the medals on the podium, with Takato taking his place at the top. Will he be in the same place in Tokyo next month? The under 52 kg division saw one of the World Judo Tour's rising stars in action. At just 19 years of age, Gefen Primo of Israel already has 4 bronze medals on the tour to her name and looks to be a real prospect. After making the final here in Montreal, she faced Angelica Delgado of the US, who had also been on good form during the day. This ippon against Australia's Tinker Easton of particular note. But a Rosarian golden score from Primo was enough to give her an important maiden Grand Prix title. Great stuff from Primo, who is definitely one to watch for the future. Who better for us to grab for our latest Meet Your Judoka feature?
I started judo when I was 4 years old, and from the moment I started, I just fell in love with this sport, and I knew I wanted to be the best in the world. My favorite throw is probably Uchimata. Sometimes I need to go for Uchi or something backwards, but that's my main goal. My favorite technique in Iwaza is probably Sankaku. It's just comfortable to be and feel good in this situation, and I like it. I really like the Israeli music, pop music, and I love when I won a medal, so they play it on the stadium. My favorite food is probably everything that is Japanese, but mostly sushi. I like the feeling to feel like it's all about me and what I'm going to do in the fight. So when there's a lot of pressure, I feel good. I feel like I can do it. The pressure it's from a good reason, like I can do it, so. I love to cook to my friends and family, but most of the time I cook just when I can eat it, so. I have many nicknames, but my favorite one is when people call me Gigi. It means golden Gefen. My favorite judo player, she's Clarissa Pignano. She always throw an hip one and she go for it. She's an amazing person and I just love her. My hero is Erden Jervi. She was our first world champion ever in history. I remember when I trained with her before she went to the competition, and when she did it, it just showed me that dreams do come true. Stick to your dream, work hard, and everything is possible if you just believe in yourself. I love judo because judo has a lot of values inside this sport. You can win in 1 second, you can lose in 1 second, and you always have to be focused.
Continuing their epic rivalry at under 57 kilograms were Canadian duo Krista Deguchi and Jessica Klimkate. Deguchi made it to the final, showcasing a combination of her throwing skills and her tenacity on the ground, whilst Klimkate employed her trademark dropping attacks. A Canadian gold was guaranteed, but which of these two would be standing highest on the podium as the anthem played? Let's join Neil to find out.
Well, Klimka is already behind, and she's just being beaten to the grip every time. Deguchi now. Is that going to be a score? She's straight in for the shimiwaza, and she gets the ippon there, and she knew that she was going to do that. She had all the confidence at the beginning. Look at that ouchi, but look at the transition. Straight in for the shimiwaza. Klimka didn't stand a chance. She was right underneath the neck there. She just goes into the crook of the leg and she applies the strangle. Klimka didn't stand a chance. Deguchi wins gold for Canada, and Canada have a 1-2 on the rostrum. Deguchi, quite clearly the number one at the moment in Canada.
On form at under 63 kilograms was Amy Livesey of Great Britain. She produced 2 big ippons on her path to the final, where she would compete for her first World Judo Tour gold, having taken 5 bronzes and a silver in the past. Facing her there would be Cho Mok-hee of South Korea. The match between these two would be a real back-and-forth encounter.
Well, Livesey has had a great tournament so far. Good ippons on the route to this final. But this left-right situation, sometimes dangerous for the counter. Now what's going to happen here? Ooh, that was very, very close. Yes, she gets the wazari there. And Livesey has gone up. She does the uchimata, and then she just drives her opponent over, and now Livesey has got to hold on. Halfway through the contest. Uchimata again! Oh, this time she hasn't countered. Cho absolutely knew what was going to happen there, but this time uses the hands there with the Sakeshi, and she takes her onto her side. Well, nearly a minute into golden score. What's going to happen here? Oh, she's gone over. She's gone over for the ippon, and Cho, well, she really learnt from the first score against her. She scored a wazari first of all with the Sakeshi. This time, she gets the full ippon. Look at the pull on the sleeve, and look how she tips the balance. It was all about control with the hands, and then she gets the turn, and she is the champion.
And there was more for the home crowd to cheer as Catherine Beauchemin-Pinard took one of the bronze medals by pinning Katarina Hecker of Australia. The under 78 kilogram division saw another Japanese world champion in action as Hamada Shori took to the tatami to contest the final against Russian judoka Alexandra Babintseva.
Well, all even at the moment. And again, we've got this left to right. Hamada, the world champion, looking for the uchimata. Oh, she went right the way underneath her there. Babintseva didn't stand a chance with that. Look at it. She starts with the leg on the outside. goes in for the Uchimata, but look at the drive off the legs there to finish the technique off. Her hips went really, really deep. It starts off with a little bit of distance, but look at the drive she gets to finish it off. And that is her first World Tour gold since becoming world champion. Brilliant stuff.
Our number 3 Ippon comes from home fighter Antoine Bouchard, who eventually took bronze, but who earlier had faced Germany's Anthony Zing.
Well, Zing knows he's got to attack. He's halfway through the contest here, and this is really awkward. Left to left. Oh, look at that. Bouchard, well, he got the resistance he wanted there. Zing just stiffened himself at the wrong time. Harai Makikomi and Bouchard is through to the semi-final.
In at number 2 is Vanessa Challa of Ecuador, who stunned Nefeli Papadakis of the US with this enormous Soto Makikomi. Another Canadian features in our top Ippon, as the dynamic youngster Shadi Elnahas faced Germany's Karl Richard Frey in the under 100 kilogram semi-final.
This has been all-out attacking from these two. Frey knows he's got to attack. Look at that, hips going across. Elnahas trying. Oh, look at that! Frey went in. Elnahas, Utsurigoshi, and what a time to do it. It was Frey that started it, but look at the hip control and the hand control from Elnahas. And that puts him through to the final. Brilliant stuff from this young man.
So the under 100 kilogram category would feature a Canadian judoka, as Elnahas prepared for a duel with the veteran Egyptian Ramadan Darwish, who had also looked impressive during the day. Would Elnahas be a hero on home soil, or would Darwish dash his gold medal hopes?
Darwish so experienced. Of course, these two left to left. So that front leg is a danger. Oh, now then. Oh, wow, he sassayed it and then took Elnahas onto his back there. And that was a little bit of inexperience from Elnahas. He never really got going. And listen to that. The crowd, so appreciative of good judo. And Darwish, the former world bronze medalist, he just showed his experience there. He changed it. It was left to left. Changed the direction and just took Elnahas onto his back for the Ippon. It was a clean Ippon, beautiful stuff, and gold medal for Egypt.
Attending Montreal was newly inducted IJF ambassador Nadia Comaneci, who in this city scored gymnastics' first perfect 10 during the 1976 Olympic Games. She was on hand to award Japan's Kogo Wakano with a gold medal, after being alongside IJF President Mr. Marius Vizza to watch the 18-year-old defeat Catarina Costa of Portugal by a Wazari in golden score in the final of the under 48 kilogram division. Great stuff from Koga, who illustrated once more what incredible depth Japan have in the lightweight female categories. There were high hopes for another Canadian gold, as Kalita Zupancic delighted the crowd by making it through to the final of the under 70 kilogram division. However, she met her match there, as Germany's Giovanna Scocchimaru dug deep to secure a pin and hold Zupancic for an Ippon win. It was the young German's first World Judo Tour gold medal. Taking another gold for Japan was world champion Asahina Serra, who defeated Raz Hershko of Israel in the final of the over 78 kilograms, with this counter-attacking Ippon. Great work from Asahina. There was cause for Mongolia to cheer, as the under 66 kilogram gold went to their athlete Kerlin Ganbold, when he defeated Kenneth van Gansbeek of Belgium in the final. The best action came in one of the bronze medal contests, as Ireland's Nathan Burns scored Ippon against Imad Basu of Morocco to earn his first World Judo Tour medal. Yet another example of judo's universality. Looking to prove a point at under 73 kilograms was Hashimoto Soichi of Japan. The 2017 world champion has been dropped for this year's World Championships, with his national rival Ono Shohei taking his place. In Montreal, Hashimoto answered the only way he can, by taking gold. After some beautiful judo during his elimination bouts, he caught Viktor Skvortov for a wazari before applying an opportune arm lock in the final. Gold for Hashimoto, and a chance for the world to see this charismatic judoka smiling again. Japan had yet more big names in store though. At under 90 kilograms, Olympic champion Baker Mashu was in action. After showcasing his trademark blend of unorthodox and traditional judo during the eliminations. It was a scrappy counter-attack which eventually earned him the gold medal, as he defeated Colton Brown of the USA in the final. At under 81 kilograms, Japan had one more former world champion in action. Nagase Takanori hasn't been regularly active on the World Judo Tour since 2016, but here in Montreal, he looked reborn with some sensational judo, marking his path to the final. During the day, his victims included Cancun Grand Prix champion Sami Ciucci of Belgium, former world champion Alexander Weissazak of Germany, and another Belgian, the reigning European champion Matthias Casse. Looking to stop him in the final was Antoine Valois-Fortier. As a world and Olympic medalist, he is one of Canada's most decorated judo heroes today. Could he win them a gold medal against Nagase?
Valois-Fortier, really strong with the grips. Look at that, taking the sleeve down, but he's got to use it. But Nagase, I've got to say that he's exactly the same. He just keeps cracking the grip off. Oh! Look at that! What an uchimata that was! And the crowd again celebrate. They absolutely appreciate the brilliance of that. It was off the sleeve, and he let go with the other sleeve. So as soon as he had the sleeve grip that he wanted there, he disappears right the way between the legs of Valois-Fortier for a beautiful uchimata. Look at the control of the sleeve, and Nagase is back to his absolute brilliant form.
So no more golds for Canada, but the reaction to Nagase's beautiful ippon in the final showed that this knowledgeable crowd were not to be disheartened. This event has been magnificent, and the extra work that Judo Canada has put in has been admirable. We spoke to Valois-Fortier in the fan park the next day about the importance of the event for the development of judo in Canada.
So when I first heard that Canada was getting a Grand Prix, I was very excited, very surprised. I didn't expect it, but it was such great news to finally be able to fight in front of family, friend, and home crowd. I was very excited. So as you can see behind me is the fan zone. Judo Canada did an amazing job to turn this place into a real party. So it's really a great place to be. It's fun for everybody, for the whole family, and it's great for the event, for judo, yeah. It's very important for the next generation, the younger crowd, to be exposed to that type of event. Such a great event. It's at that age that you develop a passion for sports like judo. So it's amazing that we have so many here that came to see judo. To fight in front of home crowd, I was expecting it to be great, but it was amazing. It was even more than I expected, and it was I had so much fun being out there and fighting in front of such a great crowd. It was really amazing.
Our final category, the over 100 kilograms, saw the return of judo's king. Teddy Riner's achievements in this sport are unprecedented and may never be matched. After winning his 10th world title in November of 2017, Riner has been absent from the tatami, but has chosen now to come back and made it through to the semi-finals easily. There, he faced another Olympic champion, the under 100 kilogram champion Lukas Kapalik. This is a match which many have anticipated since the Czech announced his move up to the higher weight category. As they came out into the arena, the judo world held its breath. Kapalik did not disappoint. Right from the start, he showed his intention to attack, felling his French opponent before threatening on the ground, an area in which he is renowned for his strength. But Riner showed a little-known aspect to his game, his ability to defend, and Kapalik's offense amounted to nothing. This became the pattern of the match. In one contest, Riner spent more time defending on the ground than he has in the past 10 years. But his defense held. As the match entered golden score, yet again Kapalik had his chance on the ground. An initial attack from the Czech gave Riner a chance to counter, a chance which the Frenchman failed to capitalise on. After this weak attempt, he was forced to roll onto his front to defend. Kapalik went for it, attacking with his trademark turnover, and seemed to make progress. But Riner's right hand made all the difference, as it prevented his opponent from controlling him. It was clear to see that Riner would have to dig deep to avoid defeat here in Montreal.
2 minutes into golden score, anything can happen here now. Kapalik has really taken the fight to Riner. Now what's Riner gonna do? Can he pull it out the bag? Riner, oh look at that! Oguruma! And he gets the Wazari, and Riner does it again. It looked as if he was gonna go down, it looked as if he was in trouble, but Teddy Riner, 10 times world champion, pulls it out the bag with an Oguruma, and Kapalik goes onto his side, and now Riner is in the final again. This was a massive test for Riner because he'd been out for a little while, but now he's back and now he's felt it. And wow, he did it in style in the end, and the crowd are on their feet. Teddy Riner points to his back. He says, I'm Olympic champion. So's Kapalik, of course, at the weight below. But look at that, great sportsmanship. And Teddy Riner says, wow, that was close. Too close for comfort.
And still another world-class opponent awaited Riner in the final. Olympic silver medalist Harasawa Hisayoshi of Japan has been back on form recently, and a victory against former world number 1 David Moura of Brazil set up an Olympic final rematch. No one could claim that Riner's comeback had been easy. Once again, it was a tough match, and once again it was decided in golden score.
Harasawa really taking the fight to Riner. Riner is having to dig deep. This is the second time he's had to dig deep. But look at the gripping tactics from Riner, always looking for the positive grip. Now, what's going to happen? Is it a Wazari? Harasawa has gone over onto his side, and that big right arm coming over the top there was enough to gain the advantage for Riner. Harasawa did so well all the way through the contest, and it was again that big right arm over the top there that enabled Riner to come in for the technique. Oso Tagari was the technique, and in the end it was a bit scrappy, wasn't it? A scrappy way to finish, but he did land on his side. His first tournament in nearly 2 years. He did look a little bit rough around the edges at times, but he was tested twice, in the semi-final and now in the final. But Teddy Riner still showed why he is the number 1, because he had to dig deep, and he showed what a great champion he is.
Wow, this is a difficult day for me after 18 months, but I know it's not my best level. It's not my first time with Lucas. All the time when I go on the training camp, I like this fighter because this is a beautiful judo player. And I know before the semi-final with my coach, I know this fight is difficult, much difficult. This is the final before the final. But I win. I'm very happy because this is, wow, long time I not fight on this level. With my coach Frank, I go maybe tomorrow, 1 day rest. Okay, after 1 day, go back to training. I'm back, no problem.
So that's it for the fireworks in Montreal this year. Join us in 1 week as we travel to Hungary for another Grand Prix in Budapest.